All right, in this video, before we start talking about options as a speculative instrument, let's address a question that a lot of our students ask but never find the answer to. And that is, what's the benefit of buying a put instead of using a stop order? We've been talking about stops forever. We understand we just place a stop order, it gets us out of the trade. Well, why would I want to spend the premium to buy a put option? Let me show you a couple of scenarios here. So let's look at Target. And if you were to buy this trade, maybe you would put a stop down here around 74, maybe around 73, but somewhere in here you put a stop order. And now let's do the hypothetical. Let's say that the trade comes down and we sell and we're out of the trade at 74. Well, if you purchased at 76, you've now locked in your loss of $2 per share. I get that. You've locked in a loss, okay? Nobody wants to lock in a loss, but we've managed that risk to $2. That's important for us to manage the risk. Now let's look at the alternative here. What if we were to buy a put option instead? So if we bought the put option, let's say we purchased ourselves some 72.50 puts. Well, we would have the right at 72.50 to buy the stock, to sell the stock. We'd have the right to sell the stock at 72.50 if the stock were to go down. So sure enough, stock comes selling off, and if it keeps selling off, you could, instead of selling the stock at 72.50, you could do that. You could sell the stock at 72.50 and it's kind of like a stop order. But the other alternative here is you could just sell the put option. So now the stock has resumed its support maybe around here at $64. I'm making these numbers up, obviously. So maybe the stock has resumed support at 64. You turn around and this put option is now worth the difference in 72.50 and 64. So you've got about $8 almost in this trade. You can sell that put for the $8. That offsets your loss, and now your new cost basis is down here around 64. You still own the stock. You can turn around, write some covered calls against it, write it back up for the capital gain, whatever. The point is, the benefit of using the option rather than a stop is it keeps you in the trade and it gives you more choices, more options. If you want to get out of the trade and you don't want the options, then you can just use a stop order. But if you like the idea of saying, hey, I'm managing this thing and I'm just trying to offset that risk, then the put option is going to be a great trade for you. So hopefully that explains the difference between why you would be interested in using an option rather than using a stop.